And to close it off,
What's the name of the crew?
with a killer performance, action!
Angizokutengela ibhanoyi, angizokutengela ibhanoyi, angizokutengela ibhanoyi, my love, angizokutengela ibhanoyi, my love, angizokutengela ibhanoyi, my love, angizokutengela ibhanoyi, my love. Awunoma bengathini wena ungowami nabaphansi sebevumile awungithi sekulotshiwe ikhanda livele lidume uma ungeke duze ismail samsaziwa kuwe wesithathe my love you.
I first went to South Africa when my brother got married with my mother. I was 18 years of age, and my mother and when I went out, I was a bridesmaid, and we went on the Union Castle line because in those days you didn't fly, and so excited. But it was the most shattering experience of my life, really. It was the first time I'd been confronted with racism. And my mother and I were supposed to be out there for 6 months. And after 3 months, my mother said, I can't take this anymore. So we came home.
Well, after you came back, I mean, you were so appalled that you got involved with various organisations to fight apartheid and sanctions which were set out over here, but not sufficiently. So you were very much involved with South Africa. And I always remember when we first married, I actually married South Africa as well, because, you know, this was the major part of your life at that time.
The first time I met Bishop Simeon was at the house of a South African exile. He was a very, 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 very warm personality, not at all aloof, with a wonderful sense of humour.
Loved children.
Loved children.
Absolutely. I mean,
yeah, totally.
work for the youth was really his highlight. And I mean, he had a terrible time in South Africa.
To cut a long story short, Bishop Simeon went back to South Africa and was made suffragan bishop. And he said to me, do you think you could possibly come out and give me a hand in the office? Could I go and help with some of his youth projects? I mean, his office in Springs was always full of young people coming to their bishop for help. And I think it was his great love for children and his concern for them that basically got Clive and I involved in the first place. The purpose of the Bishop Simeon Trust initially was to bring youngsters out of South Africa who were being denied education in South Africa, to bring them out because we could see that many of them were in fact possibly the future leaders of South Africa.
I grew up in Guatemala, a township in the East Rand, east of Johannesburg. My home was petrol-bombed in 1985 by the then special branch police, or whoever you want to call it. And my father was involved with politics, and Bishop Simeon was the support system for the family, and used to come and see us almost every 2 weeks when my father was imprisoned. And an opportunity came. I was the guinea pig of the scholarship, so I was probably one of the first two students that were sponsored by the trust.
In terms of what the program gave me, one, I think exposure more than anything, and exposure in terms of, you know, when I went to the school, Millfield is one of the affluent schools, you know. So I guess it just gave me a sense of appreciation more than anything of, you know, that even though I wasn't as affluent as the students there, but you know, you could still fit in. And I think even just having Uncle Clive and Judith going through and sacrificing, you know, their time and energy, which they didn't have to, you know, to kind of help the kids back here, I guess has made me a lot more conscious.
So it's open-mindedness, it's education, it's confidence. It's given me a platform to be who I am, who I want to be.
The Bishop Simeon Trust would not exist, and the kind of work the Trust is doing today would not be necessary were it not for the history of apartheid. Today we're in Tsulo in Katlehong, just east of Johannesburg, and it's one of the Safe Park programs that the Bishop Simeon Trust supports, and all the regional safe parks have gathered here today to showcase some of the films they've been making, and yeah, it's been really interesting looking at the kind of social issues they're picking up, and how I've spent quite a lot of time also looking at how the audience has been reacting to the films. And yeah, what's interesting is they're speaking the language that the young people can relate to, the music the young people can relate to, and passing on the message in a way that they can understand. And I think it's a brilliant program and very empowering, quite clearly.
Safe Park is the place that remove me from the thugs, Yangtola, drugs, anything, and when I'm here, I'm safe.
Yeah, ayona vele iyangichaza nayo isho kukhulu kimi vele nangoku singabantwana sonke sihlangene yabona khona nabantwana vele yona inceda abantwana abanga nabazali ayi mandoda ayi.
They teach us a lot about lifestyles that we should live, good behaviors, good attitude that we should do or make, and that they teach us that we must be a good impact to people in our community, so that we can attract more peers, our peers, to the center.
I think Safe Park is a place where all children are safe and happy. Safe Park is a place where they protect children from blah blah blah.
Yes, I think Bishop Simeon would be delighted to see that the work with the children and young people continuing, very much so.
30 years from now, I hope South Africa will be in a different state, that there won't be a need for the Trust. The Trust will be sitting back and saying, this is the work that we did. We're part of that beautiful nation that is together, that there's no child who goes to bed hungry, there's no child who goes to school on an empty stomach. There are opportunities for anybody who wants to go to school, must be provided the opportunities. So I'm hoping that we'll be talking a different need in South Africa. There won't be a need as there still is now for the Trust.
I think he would be absolutely delighted. But I can hear him saying, but you need to do more.
My